Welcome back. You're watching The Right Stand. Viewers, the Maharashtra state elections proved a turning point in state political landscape for a host of reasons. But even as days of speculation on the NDA power-sharing formula note-taking ceremony ended, a new twist appears to be shaping up in the political corridors of the state. Two parallel gestures have put the spotlight back on what the future of Maharashtra politics holds. One is in a never-before Sena UBT Sanjay Raut through party's official mouthpiece Samna heaping praises on Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis. Remember, this isn't the BJP and the Sena from pre-2019 time, where the BJP and Shiv Sena were strong allies and where Shiv Sena was one united front. It's an equation that's seen some extremely bitter exchanges. Now, in a sudden turn of events, Sanjay Raut praised Maharashtra Chief Minister Fadnavis after 11 Naxals surrendered before the BJP leader in Gadchiroli. But even before this, rumor mills were buzzing ever since Ajit Pawar's mother said on Wednesday that she prayed for the reunion of the Pawar family. In fact, many leaders, both from Ajit Pawar's NCP and NCP led by Sharad Pawar, have welcomed the possibility of the merger of the two factions. So is there a possibility of some of these friends turned foe doing a rethink and extending an olive branch to their long-term rivals? Before we decode the same, here's some surprising responses that have come in from the newsmakers of the state.
जरूर हम अपोजिशन में बैठे हैं, लेकिन हमारी महाराष्ट्र से नाता है, राज्य हमारा है और इस राज्य में गढ़चिरौली जैसे जिले में जो नक्सलवाद है, वो नक्सलवादी अगर आत्मसमर्पण करते हैं और संविधान का मार्ग अपनाते हैं मुख्यमंत्री के सामने, तो उनका हम स्वागत करें।
अच्छी बात है। आपको याद होगा आर पाटिल जी ऐसे करते थे, तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि जो काम आर पाटिल जी ने जब खुद होम मिनिस्टर बने थे तब वो गढ़चिरौली बहुत जाते थे, और वो अच्छा काम आज देवेंद्र जी ही आगे ले रहे हैं। हम सबके लिए अच्छी बात है। माओवाद हो या जो टेररिज्म हो, उसके खिलाफ हम सभी हैं।
Let's quickly open this up. Tuin Sena, national spokesperson of the BJP, continues to stay on with us. Also joining us is CS Jha, leader Shiv Sena UBT, and Anisha Gawande, spokesperson of NCP SP. Very good evening, gentlemen. Thanks for joining in this evening. I want to first up take in my first comment from CS Jha, because Sanjay Raut is a person and famously so known to not have two great things to say about the Congress, which is an ally of the Sena UBT. So forget the Bharatiya Janata Party. Why this change of heart, Mr. Jha?
See, we were with the BJP till 2019 and we have worked with Devendra Fadnavis ji in Maharashtra, and what the situation holds, how the ground holds. He knows everything. We also know everything. So the praise is with regard to the terrorism activity being curbed by him and surrender of the Naxalites. It's a good work which is being done by the CM. So we should always praise good work by any of the political person being done in a state. And we have never said against Mr. Fadnavis, but eventually the political tussle continues. And in Maharashtra, what will happen in 2-3 months or 6 months, it is time will say. But otherwise also, we have never have any enmity in regard to the political works being done by the political person. It is a political tussle, political things go on. If somebody does a good work, we should always pray.
Okay, there's no personal enmity here. Tuhin, are you a firm believer of what Mr. Jha is saying? You know, all past rivalry aside, election season's done with, we need to survive together in this space where we're only looking at the betterment of Maharashtra and all's forgotten.
Well, Christine, there are two things which are very evident here. Number one, yes, we are on the verge of eliminating the Naxal menace forever. You know, Gadchiroli, which at one point of time would be the hub of Naxal activities. Today, there is a steel plant, 12,000 crore worth of steel plant coming up right in the heart of Gadchiroli. People are being settled in areas which until a few years ago were infested with Naxal. So yes, that is a huge achievement. But knowing this present opposition, they would not have appreciated or they would not have complimented the government unless they were in complete disarray. And they are in complete disarray. Both UBT and Sharad Pawar's party are facing an existential crisis and they don't know where to go. They clearly realize that their future are not with the Congress party, which, by the way, is the cause of most of the problems for their alliance partners.
Okay. Anish, what's your take on this? Because as much as the focus is on, the surprising words coming in from Sanjay Raut, a lot is being spoken of, rather being speculated around the possibility of the Pawars coming back together, possible reunion on the cards, would you say?
No, to start off with, Prithveen, I think the reality is that we've always believed in playing the role of a constructive opposition. If you saw Supriyata's statements today as well, they were praising Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis for the work that he's done, but also reminding the people of Maharashtra of the legacy of R.R. Patil, who was Home Minister and who, remember, took over Guardian Ministry of Gadchiroli in its most critical time. When he was Home Minister, around 8 districts in Maharashtra were Naxal-infested. After he was Home Minister, there were only 2. And that work is being carried on by Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis and other governments. Because governance is continuity. As for the factions coming together, I can assure you that I'm sitting in the opposition right now and playing the role of a constructive opposition. We've raised questions about the government's actions in Bede, where a horrific killing of a sarpanch has raised severe questions on law and order situations. And we've also raised questions about Somnath Suryavanshie's death in custody, which has raised questions.
That's one, Anish. One is sitting in the opposition in the capacity in which you are as a political outfit. The other is, of course, the scenario that slowly unfolded in front of the entire country with regards to the split in the faction. And it wasn't too long ago. 2023 is not forgotten and well behind us. So a possibility most certainly can't be ruled out. And with the kind of reactions coming in, not just from the top leadership as well, but also, the cadre, the foot soldiers, they're all of the opinion that it's a welcome move if it benefits both the factions.
I think I'm very grateful because most of the moves that have come from senior leaders in the NCP Ajit Pawar faction who have reaffirmed the fact that Pawar Sahib remains the ideological fountainhead of the NCP SP and the person that the party, regardless of which faction it's divided into, looks up to. So
I think Jitendra Awad ji is a leader from your party. He too said, I have no objection to the reconciliation. So
but that's after Praful Patel ji's statement saying that Sharad Pawar is a deity, and that's after.
Okay, very interesting. So I want to understand from Tuhin, where is the BJP placed on this? If at all we do see coming together, and all of this, of course, I do admit on purposes in the realm of speculation. But what will be the BJP's take in your view, Tuhin?
Well, first of all, they need to make up their mind because even if, like my friend from Sharad Pawarji's party is mentioning that the initiative is largely from Ajit Pawarji's party, it's probably because Ajit Pawar still shares an emotional bond with Sharad Pawarji and he can't see, the decline of Sharad Pawar in politics. So that could be probably the only reason why he wants a rapprochement. But having said that, the final decision has to be taken by the party concerned, which is Sharad Pawarji's party, and only if they take a formal stand will we be in a position to comment or we have any clarity on the issue.
But is there a sense that perhaps Devendra Fadnavis appears to be in a pole position right now, not just being the chief minister, but the manner in which he's really taken the alliance forward, the Mahayuti forward, and to that kind of a mandate? Do you think that's really changed the political scenario?
Yeah. He is the tallest leader in Maharashtra right now. He has delivered extensively. He has delivered more than what was expected because a mandate of this nature was not expected by anybody, especially, in coalition politics. A robust majority of this magnitude was obviously, it's completely blown off the opposition, and the opposition will take a very long time to recoup and to, get their act together from here. So yes, he is the tallest leader right now, and he has led the coalition in a brilliant fashion.
Okay, which implies, Mr. Jhan prompts us to think that everybody wants to keep their options open, it seems, at this point in time. Because, yes, the political scenario in Maharashtra is very fluid. You have 6 strong political outfits, and that was at the heart of, every debate that we were having in the run-up to the assembly election. So, is that what is being seen on part of the Sena UBT? Because, yes, you've been the strongest allies before 2019. And nothing is ruled out in a state like Maharashtra when it comes to politics.
In politics, the friend becomes foe and the foe becomes friend. It is always opposite to each other.
It doesn't appear so, especially when you're taking on one another.
And eventually, what the BJP will be having their negative side if these parties are getting together, because these are regional outfits of the party. In Maharashtra.
But is it an attempt to de-escalate political tensions? Because we've seen some extremely bitter campaign between the BJP and Sena UBT in particular.
Yes.
And this coming from Sanjay Raut is least expected. Like I said, doesn't have too much to say about the Congress, forget the BJP. And I'm talking about the post-2019 scenario.
Yes, and the thing is that if these two parties are all together, if you combine them together, the parties will be around 120, 140 range. So BJP will not think of getting these parties to be together again, and they don't want to be together again because that will disbenefit or that will become negative for them. So in any event, what will happen, it is not known to us.
No, any addition is not
Will be
going to lead to
decided
a
in
subtraction
future.
for the BJP, Tuhin, is it? Because it can't get better than this for the Mahayuti alliance at least.
Well, like I mentioned, two parties, whether they accept it or whether they choose to be in denial, that's a choice they have to make. But UBT and Sharad Pawarji's party are clearly facing an existential crisis. It's written all over the wall. And if they don't accept it, then obviously, the way ahead would be far more difficult. But what decision they take is something, it really depends on them. And once they make up their mind, the BJP will obviously formalize its stand on what the situation would be going ahead.
Okay, now for NCP SP, Anish, the picture did a complete turnaround from Lok Sabha to assembly elections, from that 8 seats to, a poor performance in assembly elections. So is this also a result of, a lot of introspection? And more importantly, the question that perhaps your faction currently is brainstorming, is it on the lines of who next after Sharad Pawar? Is this all about legacy now going forward?
Not at all. I think we're not thinking that far yet because Pawar Sahib has led this party and will continue to lead it. And as someone who's been written off for the 5 decades of his political existence, he welcomes people who keep writing him off time and again because he only loves to prove them wrong. So I think the reality is that the Vidhan Sabha elections have been a setback, but certainly not a complete rout for us.
Okay, so what in your view explains Supriya
a party,
Suleji's
a party that
praises?
has been decimated does not bring a party that has been decimated does not bring a government with an unprecedented majority to its knees after the murder of a sarpanch in Beed. A party that has been decimated does not continue to hold its own in the opposition and find its presence on the ground. So let me remind you that even after these results, it's only been Pawar Sahib who's been touring across the state along with other opposition leaders and making sure that the government is held accountable despite our reduced numbers.
Anish,
So
there is a possibility of any of this going forward. It's going to have a direct implication on the future of INDI, and that credit is being given to Sharad Pawarji. He's one of the strongest pillars in bringing together this alliance to fight the NDA, to fight the Bharatiya Janata Party. So it's going to have larger consequences, if at all. That is a possibility which could turn into a reality.
And I think we'll have to wait to see where those realities unfold. But for now, I think we maintain that we've gotten a fairly good vote share. We managed to stay strong in the opposition, and we'll see how the political situation unfolds in the days to come.
Okay, all right. Last word to Tuhin, and then I need to quickly wrap up. Tuhin,
Well,
how do you look at the two parties and how they're responding?
To give Sharad
The ball
Pawarji
seems to be
credit,
clearly in the BJP's court, even if it's not being admitted.
to give Sharad Pawarji, due credit, yes, he has been touring the state extensively, but, so have the other parties, except for Uddhav Thackeray ji. In fact, most of the Maharashtra politicians have been very active on the ground. But fact is, even after all the touring, the performance was miserable, which only shows that, these tours haven't had the desired traction. The issues which they are raising, they don't, get a traction with the voters on the ground. For example, I don't think Sharad Pawarji should have rushed to Markadwadi, to join the protest against the EVM, because if one encourages that, every locality in the country would be deciding whether, it goes for voting through EVM or paper ballots. I think you need to take a more responsible
Okay,
stand
as was
from a
just
national
opined, how would you respond? Whether or not this is an attempt to perhaps in the longer run change the dynamics in the Mahayuti alliance, create a sort of a rift between the Chief Minister and Eknath Shinde, given the manner in which we've seen, a lot of time being taken to finally reach a decision as far as the power sharing formula is concerned. Could that be a possibility in your view?
Well, with 3 different partners, obviously things are going to take time. But when we deliver, we work at breakneck speed. Unlike, Uddhav Thackeray ji, who never used to come out of his house. When we work at a very gallant speed and we deliver very quickly. So yes, in the initial days, there are always hiccups. But I don't see this alliance. This alliance is for keeps, and it's going to be there even in the 2029 election. That's something I can tell you for sure.
Okay, is this just, some of the former allies heaping praises? And does it stop there or does it go much beyond that? We'll have to perhaps wait and watch. Gentlemen, appreciate you joining us this evening. Thank you. That's all the time we have. Heading into a very short break. On the other side, viewers, we shift our attention to a new virus in China that has overwhelmed hospitals as per report. It's set off alarm across the world. India also closely monitoring the situation. We get you all the details in just a bit. Be right back.